Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and I am the diamond painting accountant both over here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And today I have something different for y'all. This is something I'm sure you've seen other creators do, but I personally have never done one of these before. And so we're gonna see how this goes today. I am going to be doing a post review for y'all over this kit that I just recently finished. If you've been following along with me over on Instagram, you know that in the month of not May, it's currently May. In the month of March, I co-hosted my first event ever with Shay from Crafting with Shay. And we co-hosted the event Mermaids and Magic. Now for Mermaids and Magic, you had to work on a kit that either had a mermaid in it or that had some kind of magical element, like a witch, a wizard, a dragon, something along those lines. Well, I've had this kit sitting in my stash for well over a year because I knew that I wanted to enhance it so that it would so that you could see it from outer space. And if I do say so myself, I think I achieved my goal. I spent a long time planning the enhancements that I was going to do with this. And the way that I did that, I took the original drill set, which is this here. I took the original drill set and I compared it to my enhancement stash. It's literally just, it's all organized now that I've been using them, but it was just all in a shoebox of all the different crystals and metallics and pixie dust and sparkler drills that I had. They were just all in a box waiting for me to actually put them to use. So I sat down and I would pull the drills out one at a time, pour them into a tray, and then search through my enhancement stash and see what I had that matched the color of the drill as best as possible. And when I finished that, I had probably a match for half of the drills that came with the kit. And while that was already a lot, I knew that I wanted to do a lot more. So it took a couple of times for me to place orders and compare what I had ordered and received to the drills that came in the kit. But eventually I came up with 46 enhancements. I substituted 46 of these colors almost all the way across the entire canvas for some type of sparkler, crystal, or pixie dust drill, and it was absolutely amazing and I loved the process of it. Now, somebody made a comment one time recently when I was talking about these that they did not understand at all whatsoever how I managed to keep it all straight. And it wasn't easy. I have this book that I ordered from Kokisha over at Butterfly Kisses Customs, and I call it my bling book. I love the cover. It says, "Don't mess with my diamonds." And in here, I have written down the name of the piece, where I made the swap on the canvas, the DMC number, and what enhancement that I chose to make for it. Normally when I write all this down, it normally takes one page out of the book for a kit. It takes writing down on the front all of the swaps that I made, and then I just write down the name of the product that I used on the back. Well, this one took the front of a page, the back of a page, and then the front of another page. So it took 3 pages out of the book in order to write all of this stuff down. So are y'all ready to see the canvas? I'm so excited to show this to y'all. This was honestly some of the most fun I've ever had working on a kit before. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over, show it to y'all, and then we're gonna talk about some of the specific enhancements that I used. Ready? There she is. This is Eternal Companion Mermaid by Sara Burrier from Craftibly, and unfortunately it has been discontinued. Unfortunately, Craftibly has closed their doors. So this made this piece all the more special because there were a couple of times where I actually got to go out to Craftibly and meet Michael and Amy in person and help them pack orders and such. And so to work on this kit after finding out that they were going to be closing was truly something special. And so to make it even more special by doing all these enhancements was just, it was an experience, and quite frankly, I loved it. So in this kit, there's 58 colors. I made 46 enhancements, with the exception being I believe there were 3 or 4 colors that I was not able to find a substitution for that I liked. Now that doesn't mean that it's not out there. It's not possible to find one. It was just that I did not like any of the options that I had at my disposal, which is fine. So apart from those, I think there were only 2 or 3 colors that I could not find a swap that I liked for. There was one color in the background here that I left as the original charted drill because I wanted the dragon and the rainbow and the mermaid to stick out from that background to really pop. And I did not make any substitutions when it came to her skin. I personally don't like the way enhancements look on skin. I much prefer for it to be the way it was originally charted. Other than that, just about this entire canvas is some type of crystal, AB, sparkler, or pixie dust drill. I can tell you that the dragon is 99% special drills. Any AB that came with the kit, like this orange one here, any AB that came with the kit, I left as it was charted, with the exception of this space up here between the scales, the outlining of all the scales. That was originally charted to be a white AB, but I did swap it out for a white opal sparkler from DP with Sparklers. And I did the same thing in the mermaid's wings out here as well. Now, I can't imagine how long it would take if I went through each one of these 46 colors that I swapped one by one and told you what I did and where I swapped it out, where on the canvas I swapped it out. But what I am going to do is I'm going to show you my set of special drills that I used for this project. In this Elizabeth Ward set, I have 17, I counted them earlier, there are 17 different sparklers. There are probably 8 different colors of crystals in here. There's a bag of pixie dust. This set of twist top jars has 12 more colors of sparklers in here that were all used on this kit. And then this set of Harbor Freight type containers. There are currently 24 colors of sparklers in here. However, I only used probably about 10 of these on this kit. So those are the drills those are the special drills, the enhancements that I used on this kit. Now, somebody asked me how I made the decision for what to swap for each DMC color. And honestly, the way that I did it was once I had the original drills kitted up into this Elizabeth Ward container, I went through one by one and I just pulled the container out. I poured some into a tray, and then I started going through my sparklers and comparing them and seeing if I had one that I liked that matched the color of it. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to point out every single one of these sparklers and where it is on the canvas. I am going to show you a few of my favorites though. This 3822, that is one of my favorites off the top of my head, and that is the swap that I made was actually sunshine sparklers from DP with Sparklers, and go figure, spilled some. It's a gorgeous, it is a sparkler, but it's almost like it's metallic. And like it's gold in it's gold, and it's almost like it's a metallic, and it's just so pretty. So that was one of my favorites that I did. Another one of my favorites would probably have to be, I don't know, I loved them all so much. I was really impressed that this bright green one turned out as well as it did. When I opened this package of sparklers, I was apprehensive. I think that's the best word to use, is apprehensive, because it is just so bright. The name of the color is Neon Lemon, and it is like highlighter yellow. And so I was really worried about it being too overpowering. But I think, I personally think it worked out really well. The water here it did have an AB charted in it, and so I left the charted AB in it. And then most of the rest of it is going to be a crystal, either 793 crystal, 3766 crystal, 3843 crystal, or a 959 crystal AB. And I really like using crystals down in water, because it gives it a little bit more depth, whereas the sparklers are more of they're a glass drill, and so they kind of like when kind of like if you have a crystal drinking glass and light comes in and it just reflects it everywhere, or like light shining, like sunlight coming in through a window and hitting a chandelier. That's kind of the effect that sparklers have, in my opinion, whereas crystal drills, they give a little bit more depth to a piece rather than having the same reflective properties that sparklers do. That's just my opinion, and how it worked out in this piece. That may not necessarily be correct, but that's how the end product, in my opinion, turned out. And again, I'm absolutely obsessed with it. In the background here, this sky, I left one of the two charted colors in, and the other, so it was this one, the 3756 is the one that I left in, but then this other one, the 3865, I swapped it out. I went and got my nails done, and I haven't had my nails done in over a year, so grabbing these is a little tricky. This 3865, I swapped it out for 3865 pixie dust, and the reason I chose a pixie dust is because I still wanted the background to shimmer, but I wanted the sparklers and the crystals and the ABs that I used in all of the rest of this to really stick out from the background. And I think that using the pixie dust really allowed for that shimmer to still happen, but allowed the rest of this to pop out as well. So I showed you the sunshine sparkler. I showed you all the crystals in the water. Trying to find one more. I showed you the neon lemon. I'm trying to find one more favorite that I had to show y'all, but it's going to be really hard to pick just one. I think it's probably going to be a change that I made very last minute, and I did not plan on making this swap in the beginning. when I started this kit. This was something, so I worked on this canvas. I always start my projects in the left-hand corner. After I've sectioned them off, I always start in the bottom left-hand corner, for the most part. Don't ask me why, that's just my preference. And I normally work across the rows like this. For some reason, I didn't on this one, and I went from the bottom left-hand corner up, and I worked in columns on this one. And it turns out that when I got, oh, I really hope that's just that one I spilled earlier and not drills that are popping off. I didn't really have an issue with popping drills on this canvas a whole lot, so I doubt that's ones that have popped off. When I got to this last column over here, I was looking at the Mermaid's wings, and I was really wanting to do something different and special with it, and I was looking at my sparkler stash again, trying to figure out what I could put in there to really just give it that last little bit that I thought it needed. And I was really struggling. I could not, for the life of me, figure out what I thought it needed, but I thought it needed something. I just was not able to place my finger on what I thought it needed. So I was going through my stash again, and I can't find it. I know what I used, but I wanted to show it to you, and now I can't find it. So I'll just tell you what I used instead of showing you. That's a bummer. I'm sorry about that. So in the mermaid wings here, and it's all throughout. I actually took I used original sparklers. Didn't I? Yep, I did. I wrote it down. Now I can't find it on the list. Oh, here. Under mermaid wings, the 3756. So this number 1 was in the mermaid wings all throughout here, and I actually took this and I swapped it out for S for original, S for S, and it made all the difference. As soon as I started doing it, I knew I made the right choice, because it gave it that last little sparkle and pulled all of the rest of it together. And it's so, I really hope y'all are able to see just how much this sparkles. It's so hard to capture on camera, because the camera never does a diamond painting justice, in my opinion. Very rarely does it do it justice. Let me try turning on the light and seeing if that helps, or if it just creates an unsightly glare. There's a little bit of a glare, but I think it actually helped a lot too. I don't think I can say it enough. You're gonna get tired of me hearing it. You're gonna get tired of hearing me say it by the time I turn the camera off, but I am obsessed with the way that this one turned out. I have never had a finished kit custom framed before, but I've already made the decision that I am going to have this one custom framed and hung up somewhere where there's constant sunlight, because I currently have it hanging up. I just use a hanger, like a pant hanger or a skirt hanger, and clip it on there and have it hanging up on my wall in my room where there's sunlight hitting it all the time, and there are rainbows all over my room constantly, and I'm obsessed with it. I really am. So yeah, all of the swaps that I made them pretty much universal across the canvas, except I didn't do any enhancements in her skin. I can't remember if I've said that already or not, but I personally don't like the way it looks when skin tones are enhanced with ABs or crystals or sparklers. So her skin is the way that it was originally charted, and I think that was the right choice to make, personally. But yeah, I mean, it sparkles like no other. So yeah, I used 46 different colors of pixie dust, ABs, crystals, and sparklers for 46 of the 58 colors that are in this kit. This is Eternal Companion Mermaid by Sara Burrier from Craftibly, and this is probably my favorite project to date that I have done. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If y'all have any questions about specific swaps that I made to this canvas, feel free to shoot me a message over on Instagram or leave a comment below, and I will do my best to answer any questions you might have. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.